Hello everyone, I am Assistant Professor Urmi Shah from IT/ICT Department of LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. So today we are going to end up with our final unit, that is signaling techniques for our telecommunication engineering subject. So this is session number 34, unit number 6 of telecommunication engineering subject. Let's move ahead with the topics that we are going to cover in this session. So, following are the topics that I am going to cover in this session, that is CCITT signaling and signaling system 7, that is SS7. These are the basic signaling standards which are widely used in telecommunication engineering applications. So we will be studying this in detail. So let's move ahead with the topics that we are going to cover in this session. So firstly, let's understand what is CCITT. Basically, CCITT has specified few international signaling standards, like it includes SS1, SS2, SS3, SS4, SS5, SS6 and SS7. Basically here SS is signaling system. Signaling system ranging from SS1 to SS5 are used in channel signaling technique, while SS5 onwards, that is from SS6 to SS7, the signaling systems are used for common channel signaling. These are the two different types of signaling techniques that we have already studied in the previous session, that is in-channel signaling and common channel signaling. In in-channel signaling, all the signaling tasks are done within a single channel, while a single channel is shared among various signaling systems, that is called common channel signaling. So let's move ahead with this topic. At present, international in-channel signaling is confined to SS4, SS5 and SS5 bis. So this is basically the signaling techniques which are supported by international in-channel signaling standard. The signaling techniques used and applications of SSI to SS5B system are shown below. So from SS1 to SS5Bs, each and every signaling technique are having their particular range, particular application, and based upon that usage is defined for all the signaling standards. So the first one in this category is SS1. Signaling system 1 is having a range of 500/20 Hz signaling, and basically its application is it is used in manual international service. So this is the role of CCITT in SS1 signaling scheme. The next is SS2, that is signaling system 2 is having a 600/750 Hz 2-voice frequency system range, and it is applicable in semi-automatic services. SS3 is having a frequency range of 2280 Hz, that is a single voice frequency system, and its application is limited applications in automatic and semi-automatic systems. SS4 is used at two various frequencies, that is 2040 and 2400 Hz. Two voice frequency compound are used over here, and their applications are having a wide variety in telecommunication industry and market. So SS4 onwards, we will be seeing that the frequency range is having a very high jump. Moving forward, the last not the least, SS5 is having a frequency range of 2400/2600 Hz. It is again having a two voice frequency compound analog signaling and 2/6 multi-frequency in-band analog inter-register signaling with TASI equipment. SS5B is having same as SS5 but for circuits with and without TASI equipments. So these are the various signaling standards. Now moving forward to the advanced signaling scheme, that is SS7. SS7 is architecture for performing out-of-band signaling in support of call establishment, billing routing, and exchange functions of PSTN. SS7 identifies functions to be performed by signaling system network and a protocol to enable their performance. So basically SS7 is the widely used and the most frequently used signaling system network with a protocol which is used to have the enhancement performance for particular telecommunication network. Moving ahead, SS7 is characterized by high-speed packet data and out-of-band signaling. Now in the previous sessions we have discussed in-channel signaling regarding in-band signaling and out-band signaling. So here SS7 is saying that it is supporting a out-band signaling system. SS7 is a common channel signaling system protocol and it is used to set up most of the world's public switch telephone network telephone calls. So it is a very widely used SS7 signaling protocol and it is used to set up a whole world's PSTN network and to have a call establishment between international communities as well. So SS7 is playing a wider role and it is using a common channel signaling system technique. Further, the objective of SS7 is to set up and tear down telephone calls along with number translation, local number portability, prepaid billing mechanisms, and short message service. So these are the various features, or we can say various services offered by SS7 signaling system. It can have a setup and tear down of telephone calls. It can have number translation facilities, then local number portability, prepaid billing cycle, and short message services are the widely or the frequently given services which are provided by this signaling system. Further, the signal transfer points, that is STP, connects to the SSP that we will be seeing in the diagram at local exchange and interface with local exchange switch, or it is having a mobile kind of exchange, and it is also having a network or the mobile switching center is present for the switching of these SS7 transfer points. So let's see the diagram. These are the various system component, we can say, which are included in SS7, and here is the diagram. This is the diagram of SS7 signaling. Now here you can see that SCP is having the kind of router structure, STP is the signal transfer point, SSP and OSS we will be defining over here. So the SS7 system is packet network consisting of these 5 different components. The first component is signal transfer point. Via STP, the signal will be transferred from one point to another point. So that is the role of STP in this SS7 system. STP stands for Signal Transfer Point. Next is SSP. SSP is Service Switching Point, and it is going to allow the next switching area or the next switching center to relocate and to transfer the signal towards SSP. So SSP over here stands for Service Switching Point. The third in this category is SCP. SCP stands for Service Control Point, and basically in SCP here all the points are centrally controlled, and to send information from which point to another point, that controlling unit is supported by SCP, and SCP stands for Service Control Point. The another is Operation Support System, OSS. The fourth is OSS, that is Operation Support System. It basically helps in the tracking of all the operations going on in this signaling system. And the last is the RCL unit, that is Redundant Communication Link. Now the word redundant itself means whatever is left or whatever is extra, if it is left out, then that communication link has to be conveyed via a specific link which is done over here by RCL. So RCL stands for Redundant Communication Link. So following 5 are the different components or the packet network of SS7 consists of STP, that is Signal Transfer Point. Second is SSP, that is Service Switching Point. Third one is Service Control Point, that is SCP. Fourth one is Operation Support System, and the last one is RCL, that is Redundant Communication Link. So as you can see over here, all the STPs are connected with a SCP and OSS, which are going to work as a control and support unit, and SSP are going to help in the service providing, and in between RCL nodes are connected, which will help in developing a redundant communication link between the transfer of communication from one STP to another STP. So this is the block diagram of SS7 signaling system. Moving further, the service switching point, that is SSP, convert signaling information from the exchange voice switch into SS7 signaling in the form of data packets. SS7 data packets travel from one SSP to another through STPs. The STPs serve as network router which directs the packets to their proper destinations. So this is the role of SS7 signaling system in transferring of information from one point to another point. Further, several redundant communication links between STPs provide high degree of reliability. Service control point, that is SCP, act as interface between SS7 network and various databases. The operation support system provides the monitoring and maintenance part or the support to entire network. So these are the role of each and every component of SS7 signaling system. Following are the reference books for the topics that we have covered up till now. For this, you can refer the first two books, which is having a detailing of CCITT and SS7 signaling system. Further, here we will be ending with all the sessions of telecommunication engineering, but in the next session I will be concluding with the numerical section of this subject. All the most of frequently asked numericals I will be covering in the last session. So thank you very much for watching this session, and in the next session I will be having the major covering of numericals which are a part of this telecommunication unit, And here I am concluding all the units of telecommunication engineering subject, that is having 6 unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. One was introduction, 2 was telecommunication network, third was regarding traffic measurement, fourth was telephone network, fifth was data network, and last is the signaling scheme. So let's see in the next session various numericals. Thank you for watching this session.